And we're back, guys. Welcome back to yet another video based on Rush Royale with my dude Garrett with Game by the Beach, while we're talking through all the different cards in Rush Royale and adding them to our epic tier list. Today we're covering the epics. I didn't mean to say that like that, but that's how it came out. Garrett, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Very excited. We're almost halfway there through all these units, man, and it's been quite the discussion. All right, the commons, the rares, those are usually the bottom of the totem pole. Now we're into the epics. We should be getting into some pretty high ranking units, and I'm very, very excited.
You know, now that I'm looking at it and I'm looking at like all the different cards and where they ended up, I think we did it right because we've got 2 A's out of all 15, 18 cards, and then everything else is C or lower. And it makes sense. That's the commons and the rares. So now that we're moving into the epics, yeah, I feel like things are going to move up quickly. So I say we just jump right into it. Today, we're going to be covering the epics. So if you guys play Rush Royale, do be sure and open up your game, check it out, look at the cards we're talking about, and, be in the discussion in the comments. And don't forget to check out Garrett, his channel. Link for that will be down below in the description. So, bro, I'm going to put you right on the in the limelight here. We're going to start with the Catapult. And I just want to hear what you have to say about the Catapult, to be honest, because I have some experience with Catapult. I think it's good, but I want to hear your take on it.
All right. So Catapult, I think that falls into a lot of these other categories. Basically, it's a support unit. Okay. It doesn't do damage. It does stun, it does area stun. But again, it's not even the best of its kind. Okay. It's basically like a glorified bombardier, not as good. Maybe it does slightly more damage, but who cares? It's not a damage unit. So if we're putting it somewhere right away, I mean, it's probably one of the bottom tier epic cards. And is it as bad as Fire Mage, Lightning Mage? I think that's the bar. Probably not. I think if I had to throw it somewhere, man, Catapult, I've had some fun with it. It's not going to win you many games. I'd put it at E.
E.
You think higher? Give me it. Come on. Let's go.
Wow. I didn't expect E.
You're going to put it at the first B, weren't you?
No. We do need a B today, though. I think we're going to get one, but we'll at least one B. I didn't expect that because, like, if you look at what we have in D, we have Zealot, we have Magic Cauldron, we have Rogue, and we have Hunter.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like I see Catapult just as often, if not more. And that may just be because it's popular. Maybe it doesn't deserve it, but you'll see it in the double slow decks or sometimes triple slow decks where you'll see a Catapult in place of like an Ivy or something like that. So I don't know. I was leaning. Let me look at what's in E. Hold on. Poisoner. You're gonna put it in the same tier as Poisoner? Goodness.
I would say Poisoner is better than Catapult.
Wow. Simply wow.
Let's just end the video right now.
Everyone's like, I'm out. Thumb. Actually, you can't do that, or you can't see it anymore. Whatever. Oh, anyway. Okay, now that I look at it, I'm gonna go with E as well. I'm gonna trust your judgment on that because it's just
that way they can roast me, not us. If they agree with you, let us know. Do you agree with him or me? Or now it's both. But
what a fantastic start. No, I just didn't expect Catapult to be that low because I thought it is good, but it just doesn't do what it's meant to do very well.
It stinks.
Exactly. There we go. Now we're on the same page. All right. Crystal Mancer. Crystal Mancer is near and dear to my heart. Crystal Mancer was my main damage output card for a long time. I actually used Crystal Mancer even after I had Boreas, my first legendary. No, Frost was my first legendary. Boreas was my second. And I still kept Crystal Mancer because it was better. It seemed better to me. So what do you think?
I agree with that. I would take, kind of a little bit different Boreas versus Sharpshooter versus Crystal Mancer. But I think overall, Crystal Mancer is a better card. It would be tough. I could see it going in D. I could see it going in C. It's in a lot of good decks. It's probably one of the very best free to play cards. Mine's only level 12, And if I'm trying to make a free to play deck, it's one of the first ones I think about because it's so good against taking out bosses. It has some application with like double slow decks and taking out waves. But yeah, I'd put it around there, either a C or a D. What are you thinking?
So yeah, I was thinking about the early game mostly, but if you consider where it lands in the end game, you don't see it anywhere. So this is kind of like the opposite problem that we had with Zealot, right? Where Zealot was so good at the end game, so bad at the beginning and middle. So we put Zealot in D. I would venture to say maybe Zealot or maybe Crystal Mancer should also be in D.
I think that's fair. I think if you guys are commenting down below and you're saying Crystal Mancer is better than Cauldron, it's better than Zealot, I don't necessarily disagree. But I think I see Cold Mage, Priestess, maybe Sharpshooter, just a little bit more prevalent than Crystal Mancer. Again, you could disagree with that too, but I think it's going to be pretty close. I'm okay with putting it in D.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Ouch. Okay. I could have sworn we'd have a B eventually. Well, you know what? It could still happen. I see some cards coming up that are really good. All right. So the next one is Engineer.
Yep.
Engineer. I had a good stint.
We're getting into the tough ones here.
We are. I had a good stint with Engineer, and then I found Crystal Mancer, and that was all I ever saw of Engineer. So I could easily put Engineer below Crystal Mancer at E. I don't really think it deserves to be an F.
No.
But I think if anything, it's not better than Crystal Mancer.
No, and it's almost like the memories, because Engineer at one point was the best deck without question. And it went through a couple of metas where it was the best card for a long time. I played Engineer recently. Mine does not have any talents on it, so if I did, it would be better. It was not good. I couldn't last till wave 2. It was, and I've got everything that you would need to support it with, you know, Portal Keeper, Dryad, Harlequin, Summoner, you name it, I have it. Couldn't make it work. So I think just in today's day and age, it's a little bit weak, but it is one of those cards that it sees a surgence and then a decline and a surge and decline. So I could see it moving up here and there in the next few months. I could see it either in D or E. And I might throw it your way again for the final thought here.
Thanks a lot.
I think I selected the last two. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. I put it in E. I put it in E. I don't see it all off. It's just a straight up damage dealer. It does a lot compared to a few, but it's so one dimensional that there are so many better damage dealing cards, including Crystal Mancer. Crystal Mancer is better.
This next one is going to be, this is where we know if we're biased or not. We're going to we're putting Engineer right now in E.
Okay.
And the next one we have is Gargoyle, which I play Gargoyle all the time. And
Take it away.
Love it.
Take it away, bro.
Maybe one of my favorite cards. And I'll jump in right here because of Gargoyle. And everybody on my channel knows Gargoyle is just, it's one of those cards that it's just terrible. And then it just wins. And there's not many out there like it because it's a bad card and you win. I've beaten cultist decks way more times than I can count running Gargoyle, and it's just absolutely hilarious. But I think most people would probably put Engineer over Gargoyle. I am not one of those people. Okay. Gargoyle is up there. It's not our first B.
It's not?
No, it can't be. It can't be. It can't be.
If it beats cultist.
I could argue that it would be, I would argue it would be C. I would argue Gargoyle is C. And I think that's a very controversial statement, but that's what I'm arguing.
I'm just straight up arguing that something needs to be B. So that's why I'm saying that.
Well, that's fair. It's coming. It's coming.
No, I have no experience with Gargoyle. I tried it a couple of times and it just wasn't very leveled at the time. Yeah. It's now level 12. So it's got a little bit going for it. And it's not talented. 13. Look, it's not talented.
That's what I'm saying.
So it will be, hopefully. Right?
Klaus, I'm telling you right now, after this video, go home. I mean, you're home already. Go home. Try out Gargoyle, Bombardier, Portal Keeper, Harlequin Dryad. You will win games. Figure out how to play it. It's kind of complicated. Figure out how to play it. You will win games. Guaranteed. Game by the beach, stamp of approval.
So you think because of all this experience that you have that it's only a C?
Yeah.
I'll go with your gut then. Let's do it.
I mean, I
Let's
think
say
most
C.
people would put it lower. That's why I say that. I think
No, most people haven't given it a chance. They haven't learned it. It's hard. It's not an easy one to learn. I didn't want to learn it. I was busy kicking butt with cultists, so I didn't try. But you've had time to mix it up, and you have an audience that wants to see different things, and you did, and it worked out. So I would say Gargoyle deserves at least a C.
I've got numerous videos of me just winning with Gargoyle in PvP, and it makes no sense. We have tried it in a dungeon run, and it is like the worst card in dungeons. So maybe that should be said, but I'm keeping it in C, and I'm happy with it in C. You're welcome, Gargoyle. You're welcome.
We might have to highlight that one because that one might get shifted around, but okay.
We'll go all right, I'll put a little star next to it. That's okay.
All right. I knew that was going to be fun. Next one is Executioner, which you throw Executioner in a support deck even, and it's a beast. It is just a beast. I think that of the instant kill cards, I love it. It hits the first target. It's not like the stupid Reaper that hits random targets. It hits the first target. And that's what makes Executioner so good. So I'm biased, I think, on this one because I've just seen so many good things from it. What do you think?
Executioner is a very interesting card. I don't play it hardly at all, but it needs to be said that the best deck in the game for the last 5 months is Corsair Executioner. That's the deck. And when you play against a high level Corsair Executioner gadget combo with 3,000 crit, you will not win. Mm-hmm. You will never win. Like, I could play my best cultist deck and I will lose to Corsair Executioner every single time. Mm-hmm. So I think that needs to be noted. I don't play it. I think at lower level cards, lower level trophies, it has a little bit more application, but I mean, you can do the honors if you know where I'm going with this.
B.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Our first B. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Executioner.
That felt so good.
The first of its kind.
Yes. Because it's better. I know it's better than Cold Mage.
It is.
Some might disagree. I know it's better than Priestess or Sharpshooter or definitely better than Gargoyle.
Who put it there? Gosh.
Well, who did that? But I still don't think it's as versatile and useful as your Chemist and your Bombardier.
I agree. It's just not doing as much.
Yeah, but it's close. It's doing really well. All right.
It's knocking on the door.
It sure is. And I'm so glad we have a B now. That makes me happy. All right. I need your help on this one, man, because this is the first one that like blows my mind and where I want to put it. Mime.
Yeah.
Mime. It can't be anything, but it is. It's the Joker, right? It's the Joker of all cards. And it's an amazing card, but it's not as useful as some of the other Jokery cards, but still very, very, very useful. You mix your Mime with your Shamans so that you get double the output of your Shamans. Man, I want to just jump out there and give a letter, but I want to hear from you first.
What you just said about with the Shamans or whatever, you're so right. Okay, at a low level deck, Mime I feel like isn't super useful. You don't really know what you're doing with it. You combine it with Priestesses and you're getting only half the mana, so it's not really useful. But gosh, Mime is like so important in a support deck, a Shaman deck, a Demonologist deck. I mean, it's gotta be at the lowest B or C. It has to be. I would be inclined to put it at B just because of its versatility.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. So, okay, I would agree with that because I'm thinking ahead of what other cards might come, and I think it does fit in B.
It's better than Priestess.
It's better than Priestess, but it's not better. Okay. Bombardier, Chemist in the A category, kick all the butt, right? Mime, you can live without it and do okay. So
you could.
I think it belongs in the Executioner category.
I think B is fitting. Chemist and Bombardier just add more value to a deck. But then you just think about how many decks have mime in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but that's the thing, is that if you have mime in there by itself, it's doing nothing. When coupled with other cards, it's elite.
Yep.
Chemist and Bombardier, you throw that into a deck, it's immediately helping out your case.
Yep. It's going to be good no matter what.
Yep.
So, I mean, I would venture to say maybe mime could look over at the A category and
Peering
might
over
feel
the
at home.
hedges.
Yeah. But I don't think it's a solid A. That's just me.
I'm going to stick it at B. I just think there's better options for it. And I don't want to crowd that other area because I think we're going to have a lot of A's and S's and coming our way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what got me there too. Because I was thinking, hey, it's an A, it's an S, but it isn't. There's more coming that's better. All right, bro. Talk about Plague Doctor.
Plague Doctor, another fantastic free-to-play card. Great area damage, works really well at wave 1 and 2. I think this is like one of the most important cards at early levels, but it's also one of those cards that as you get to 5,000 trophies, it just disappears off the earth. Like never do I see Plague Doctor in PvP or in dungeons after 5,000 trophies. It had its moments back in the day. It's just kind of the same as a lot of other cards. I mean, I think if I'm looking, it's going, I'd probably put it at maybe D or E. I think it's probably not as good as Crystal or Zealot. Just you can see those more often. So I think it just fits in there with E, with Poisoner, Alchemist. I don't know. Case could be made, but it's not going to wow anybody later on. I don't know. What do you think?
I was thinking about like, okay, it's like the step up from Alchemist was kind of how my mind was going to, but at the same time, it doesn't do the Alchemist job that much better. So, and there are step ups from Plague Doctor that kick its butt from left to right. So, I mean, it kind of fits. I think it fits in the E category. As sad as it is, it's a flippin' epic and it's stuck in the E. There you go. It's an epic and it's an E.
I mean, we could just do that with all of them.
Video's over, guys. All the epics are E's. Let's go home.
Well, I'm looking at these cards right now, and the next one is Ivy.
Yeah.
Which is basically Plague Doctor. Maybe a little bit better. I mean, are those different enough to even have different ratings? So I feel like wherever we put Plague, I think Ivy's got to be there too. No?
No.
You think Ivy's better?
I do.
No, you could disagree. Okay.
I think
just because of that, let's do E for Plague and D for Ivy. Make it easy.
So I see Ivy in that Catapult, Bombardier, Crystal Mancer decks all the time.
Okay.
As is just okay. I like Ivy because it was my saving grace when I first started playing the game. Like Ivy just lifted me so far, so fast. One Ivy on the field, and you were golden for a while, right? It by itself, Ivy can do a ton of things. Yep. So I can't help but have that nostalgic feeling, like you mentioned earlier about some of the other cards, and I feel like Ivy should be higher. But you're probably right because you're not going to see Ivy in any of the upper like meta decks. You're just going to see Ivy maybe in the double slow when there's Brownian motion going on type.
Yeah, the only other thing I'd mention is that it's good with Hex, but it also just got nerfed with Hex, I'm pretty sure.
Terrible.
So like that's the only thing that separated it from like Plague and Poisoner, is that it wasn't only a good AoE damage unit, it also worked with Hex, but now it really doesn't. So I'd be comfortable D and E if that's what you're agreeing with.
I'm agreeing with D. It's better than Plague Doctor. It's a step up from Plague Doctor, in my humble opinion. Completely correct, but humble opinion.
I like it. I like it.
Somebody in the comments is like, nope. Timestamp. Oh, geez. All right. So we got Ivy and D. Next one. This one's gonna be fun. Portal Keeper.
It is.
Let me talk on this one. Let me talk on this one for a second. So Portal Keeper, guys.
I can leave.
No. Stay here. I need you.
Okay.
Because if I'm wrong, correct me. But it's just kind of like it was my journey through through the Portal Keeper. When I first used him, I thought, this is stupid. He's worthless. He doesn't do any damage. What the heck? And then I found out, oh, he moves people. That's cool. Yep. So at the beginning of the game, totally worthless. At the end, you're seeing like max people holding Portal Keeper.
Yep.
It's amazing. And that's pretty good. That in itself puts him at least in D or C, in my opinion, I would say. Now, here's something else. And I didn't know this until recently. Oh my gosh. Was that?
D or C? Oh my gosh.
Just wait. I'm still talking. All Big important thing. He debuffs everything. That is the thing I didn't know until recently.
Yep.
So when you got your Harley Quinn copy that's doing minimal damage, right? Or the plague comes in, you just swap him and the plague stops spreading across your board.
Yep.
Or shamans, he saves everybody from shamans, assuming he's right level.
Yep.
Because of that debuff. You know where I'm going with this. What do you think?
I love everything you just said. I'm glad you spoke on it because you hit almost every single aspect of why it's such a good card. I think at minimum it's got to be a B. I could argue a point of it being an A. Okay, because the best decks out there, like we talked about, Corsair Executioner being really, really great. Blade Dancer and Cultist are all over the meta right now, both of which have Portal Keeper in there, both of which would never work without Portal Keeper in there. So I think at a minimum B, but like you said, it's a card that is unlike anything else. There's no other card that moves cards like that, moves units to different spots and sets up your board in a proper way. So I mean, I could feel good about it being an A.
Yes.
A? Oh, wow. Good for Portal Keeper.
Good for Portal Keeper.
And it also got, over the past couple of months, it's got buffed because that debuff neutralizer was only a couple of months ago that they added that.
Oh, man. That was a life changer.
From shamans, that's something new too.
Really?
But 100% that, I mean, maybe not new anymore. I'm dating myself, old Rush Royale guy, but yeah, I think A is fitting, I think.
I think A is fitting because Portal Keeper is, no, it's not going to be your damage dealer. And no, not all the S and A categories are going to be damage dealers. In fact, we have no damage dealers in S or A yet. But the reason why it's so good is because it's essential for any board that requires any kind of specific geometry.
Yep.
Bar none.
Gosh, this is going to be a long video, dude. We still got a long way to go.
We're nearly done. I think we can blast through a couple of these. So let's move on. Let's go to Pyrotechnic.
Okay.
I am not a fan of Pyrotechnic and never have been. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I talked a lot about Portal Keeper. You talk about Pyro.
Pyro, it's random. It does damage, but not enough damage to do anything. I can't wait for it to get talents. I love it. It's not great. It's probably either D or E, to be fair. I think looking at D, those are just a little bit more consistent. Gosh, it hurts to put it in E, but that might be where it belongs.
I agree 100%. E. I would almost put him in F because I didn't understand him. I didn't understand Pyrotechnic when I used him and still don't. I tried
to play him recently and it was just, I couldn't even put a video out, I don't think, because it was just so bad. But I could see that card getting talents and being pretty decent. So hopefully in the next couple of months, it'll be up there because it is a fun card.
Someday. I agree. It's fun. It could be better and it probably will be. But as of today, no bueno. No bueno. All right, bro. I'm sorry about that, but it's just the way it is.
Okay. I understand.
Reaper.
Yep.
I like the idea of Reaper. I like the talents of Reaper. Yep. I don't like random targeting troops. I hate it. Hate it so much. So wherever we put Executioner, this dude's not at that level.
Oh no. Yeah. Reaper. Yeah. I mean, it can be good in some decks. It can actually work really well in some support decks. I think it's decent at lower levels. It's got the talents now. It sends Ghost your way. I don't know. I'd feel okay putting it at D. I'd feel okay putting it at E. I think it's just a little bit better than a lot of the E units. So I think I'd probably say D.
I agree. D. I think we're figuring this out, and we agree most of the time. I'm impressed.
Yeah, come on, we got this. Oh, here's a card for you.
All right, bro. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this one because Portal Mage. Because Portal Mage.
Because Portal Mage. That's the sentence right there. Portal Mage. There's only one tiny instance that it's useful, and that is when it moves your units all the way back to the front. So like you're about to lose to a boss and it moves them all the way back to the front. I've played dungeons where I'm doing a damage deck and I have a support guy, and the support guy is using Portal Mage to some sort of usefulness. It's just that even in that small instance that it's good, it all depends on the boss. If you're going up against a warlock and you keep sending it back to the front, it just keeps ruining your board, hitting your board. So even what it's best at is still really bad. I would put this at a confident G.
Let's look at what's in G right now. Archer and Thrower. And we're going to put him at G. Let's look at what's in F. Hold on. Let's see what's in F. Fire Mage, a Lightning Mage. That's it.
It's bad.
Gosh.
There's no way it belongs in E. No chance it belongs in E.
No, I agree that it's an F or a G. And here's why. The same thing you said. It bites the hand that feeds it.
Right.
Right? Like, here, I'll save you, buddy. And then the Warlock shoots you again and destroys the Portal Keeper.
Could be Puppeteer. Could be anything. I mean, it just keeps... Gorgon keeps... Or not Gorgon. Well, yeah, Gorgon. It would be horrible.
Terrible. Yep. So, yeah, I think... can anything really fit in Z or G, excuse me, besides Archer and Thrower? I mean, at least Archer and Thrower do damage and don't hurt themselves. So, yeah.
They're all bad.
I think Portal Mage is definitely a G. I'm going to say it's a G.
I like it. I mean, I don't like it because it stinks.
It's terrible. Okay.
All right. We've got just a handful more here.
We can blast through these three quick, I think. Thunderer.
None of them are quick. I'm just slow in general. So
it's okay. Me too. Thunderer, guys. It's better than Lightning Mage, but worse than everything else that does damage.
Yep.
Can we be honest?
Yeah.
Can we be honest here?
Yeah.
I think we can be honest here. In fact, it may be just as bad as Lightning Mage because I'm looking at what's an E, and I wouldn't put Thunderer in this category.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Thunder is near and dear to my heart. I loved it. It was so fun to play. It was great with Hex. At this point in the game, you can't play it. It's unplayable. It's got to be an F.
Because it's better than Portal Keeper. Portal Mage, excuse me.
It's better than Portal Mage, definitely. But gosh, it's bad. I mean, you could probably make an argument to make it E. But like the only time it's good is when it's like a rank 4 or higher. That was always how I looked at Thunderer. I've played it recently, got it to rank 4. It is just as cheeks as it's ever been before. It is just not a good card. So I think F is fitting.
See, it's a difficult place to be in if you're a damage dealing card because it's so easy to compare them, right? Absolutely. This one does less than this one, right? And so when you look at, especially what's coming up in the legendary category, why would anybody use Thunderer?
Because it's mirror match, and they made you.
That's the only reason.
Yep. All right, Thunderer. God, that hurts too.
You know, it's crazy. Vampire. Vampire is near and dear to my heart because again, the first week I was watching or playing Royale, I would watch videos on how to play, and I found a video and it recommended a deck and it said include your vampire and upgrade it to maximum mana level as fast as possible. And that was like my number one strategy for a long time. And now when there's like a war situation and you're dealing with drought, vampire is still rocking. So it's useful, but only in certain situations.
It is. I actually was just playing Vampire last week because of the mana. Oh, it was the Dark Domain was getting leveled up. So I'd get like a max mana level, max tiered Vampire, and it was just going ham. Check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, it's not as bad as some of these other cards. Unfortunately, in the mana production characteristic, it's not the best, I don't think. I mean, I don't even know what Cauldron and Demonologist are probably better. What do you think? Where would you put it?
Well, so my vampire is level 11 and it generates 2 mana. And then if you max out its thing, it's going to generate 10 mana per death, I'm guessing, right? But if you look at the Cauldron, then you're looking at a generation mana or a mana generation of 20. However often that is. How often is that?
Less often. Far less often, but still.
Far less often. So if you're getting the 20 mana.
Vampire's hitting every monster. Think of how many monsters are on the board. 10.
Yeah,
10.
yeah. Versus this Cauldron, which right now its like activation intervals every 5.5 seconds. So the Cauldron's worse than the Vampire, technically, because the Cauldron don't do damage.
Yeah, but Cauldron also has other applications. It's buffing your attack speed in ways. It makes you do area damage. It does actual damage with stuff, and
that's true. Talents and things.
But I think I'd probably put it at around the same spot. I don't think it's good enough for C, but I think it's definitely good at lower levels, and in some cases in war, it can be important, very important. So I could put it at D and be happy with that.
Me too.
Okay.
That's where I was leaning. I didn't want it to be at F or G, that's for sure.
No, yeah, it's good, and it doesn't have talent, so it has potential to move up, you know.
Mm-hmm. All right. I want to hear what you have to say about Wind Archer. This is the last one, guys. It's the last epic. And it is will it be controversial?
I don't know. I don't know. It's one of the worst versions of that type of card. I've thrown it in a lot of free-to-play videos because people have it rather than Boreas, rather than Bruiser, rather than whatever else, Inquisitor. I think I've seen it less and less on the ladder recently. I never really see it. It's better than Thunderer. It's better than Fire Mage. It's got to be that E tier. I think everything right there is kind of in that same sphere.
I agree. Just straight up damage cards, like it's in my head, yes, it is in the same level as something like a Sentry, right? Where sure, it'll do more than your it'll do more than your Lightning Mage will from your day one. But the day that you get something better, like a Crystal Mancer, you're never going to touch Wind Archer ever again.
Right. Yep. I agree.
All right. How do you feel, man? Are we good? Do we need to make any adjustments? We're along quite a ways now.
I think so far so good. Remember, guys, the last part is going to be on my channel. So hop on over and look. If you're following around on your phone, look how many legendaries there are. There's a ton of legendaries, and a lot of them are very, very strong. So it'll be a very interesting discussion. I mean, depending on how long that takes, we might even have to break that up into 2 parts. I have no idea.
It's very possible because we did 15 epics, and there are 23 legendaries. 24. Whatever. It's a lot.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to jump into the legendaries, talk about them, and fill up the top half of our board because we know that's what's going to be coming.
Yeah, that's the moment we've all been waiting for. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to check out Garrett with Game by the Beach's channel. Link for that is down below in the description, and the legendary video will be coming out very soon, and I'm just as excited to film it as you guys probably are to see it. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you all next time.